Makes your
Half
mouth
the
very
field just
syrupy.
finished a race, so y'all have mercy.
What is up, y'all? Welcome to the Temple of Zoom. This is our new Thursday night crit series here in Irondale, Alabama, which is a suburb of Birmingham. The city of Irondale just bought this old Shriner Temple, which is this insane building with this gold dome, and they're making it like a community center, recreation facility. They haven't really done anything to it yet, but we are running some crits out here in hopes of getting some permanent cycling facilities when it does get redone, kind of built into it. Trying to raise some money, raise some awareness, but also have weeknight crits. So this was the last race of the spring series, but there will be a summer series starting up in a few weeks. There are 3 races per night. There's an A, B, and a C. The C is kind of beginner, and this is the A race, which is the advanced, expert, whatever you want to call it, Cat 1-2. It's an open race. We had about 15 starters this day. There was a threat of rain, so I think that kept a couple of people away that normally do come out for these. Skyway Domestique had 4 guys in this field, me, Alex, Zach, and Cade, and everyone is kind of looking at us to set the tempo, so that's why I got a good clip in. I went straight to the front and ripped a couple of laps pretty hard here. So we got a lot of strong guys here, but the dynamic is kind of this. It's everybody versus Skyway Domestique, but then it's also Skyway Domestique versus William Seitz, who's in front of me right here. He's racing for Nashville Local this year. He is about to head to Joe Martin Stage Race to do the Pro this week. He's coming off a 2nd place at Collegiate Time Trial Nationals last week. He also had several good results in the ACC series last year in the pro field, and he was in the young rider jersey overall for a minute in that series. So he is certainly the strongest guy in this field on paper, stronger than anybody we've got on our team, but we do have more cards to play, and he is solo. And everyone else is looking at us. We are all looking at him. So that's kind of the dynamic that's going to play out during this race. And with that in mind, we wanted to take it on and make him chase hard. You can see Zach kind of ripped it on this first lap, making William get up to him. This little chicane is super fun, but that chicane makes this the slowest place on course. So right as he catches Zach, looks back, I go over the other shoulder and attack. I'm trying to go from the slowest point so I can get the biggest gap possible here. These short straightaways are pretty short. The whole course is pretty short. It's probably like a 1-minute lap at speed. I haven't really gone and looked, but it's a pretty short course, but also pretty technical. Like, these corners are a steep 90 degrees, and the road is pretty narrow, so there's not a ton of room to widen these corners out by going outside, inside, outside. You do actually have to slow down for them a little bit, but I think it makes this pretty dynamic and fun. I don't know how it would race with like 50 to 100 people, but with about 25, it races great. It's been really, really fun. I get brought back, flick William through, and then we go again. This one William tacks onto. This puts everyone else in the field in an interesting position, though. They know we're not going to chase because we've got a rider in it. They know William is probably the strongest guy in the field otherwise. So I think the alarm bells start to go off and everybody else starts chasing here. They're not going to let me just easy roll this and let them have a gap, which is actually probably good for us, because what we want is for William to be doing the work in the group, not for him to be getting a free ride or even maybe driving that breakaway, because that's putting us in a position for second. So here we go. The field starts swinging around. They're trying to bridge across, but yeah, they're not going to let that go. This is going to be a short race, so we can't waste any time sitting around. Here I go again out of what I think is probably the slowest corner on the course, coming from 4th or 5th wheel. Get a pretty good gap here. I think this time I did like 3-4 laps off the front with William chasing pretty hard. 35 miles per hour. Pretty good speed. It is uphill. So this course, all of the straightaways, they're kind of downhill out of the corner and then uphill into the corner at the end of the straightaway. I spent a lot of this race trying to figure out how to play that to my advantage, to sort of use the uphill into the corners at the end of the straightaway to slow me down naturally so that I'm not grabbing brakes into the corner, but also how to carry as much speed as I could through the dip. You can see each of these straightaways, especially when I'm solo, I'm picking up a lot of speed in the bottom of the dip here, over 30 miles an hour, but then it quickly drifts off as I'm coming into the corner here. I don't think I pulled any brakes and it slowed me down to like 24, just that little bump that comes up before the chicane. I'm brought back and then Alex goes. So we spend the first half of the race probably just over and over and over, hit him, going again like that. Caught, here goes Zach. Zach's caught, now it's my turn. I might have done a few too many watts here. Ouch, 900,000. I'm caught, here goes Alex. We did a pretty good job of just like having a batting order here and just almost 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one, right before Zach gets caught, I decided to go so I can use his slipstream. I knew we were gonna catch him coming into this corner and I didn't want to let a sit-up happen, so I went ahead and went before we really got to him there. Everyone starts anticipating it when you've made the catch, so to go a little bit early gave me a little bit of an element of surprise on that one. Here comes the definitive move of the night. Look at William glances back. He's been chasing Zach up the road. Right when he glances back for some help, he looks forward again and then Alex jumps. Alex jumps across this gap and you can see William is just gassed. He almost had gotten Zach back. He was gonna continue to drag him back at a time and William was having to chase them. Or William was marking the move, getting up the road with our one rider who was attacking, and then everyone else, like Hef you see here on the front chasing, would have to go to the front. The problem was none of our individual moves were sticking. Like I mentioned, William is coming off second at Collegiate Time Trial Nationals, so his ability to just sit on the front and set a steady, hard tempo and reel one guy back in is extremely high. So this was a masterful play by Alex to get up to that move, because now that we have two guys up the road rotating, I think that's why you see some of the other people in the field coming to the front to contribute, knowing William is a little bit gassed. But William is faster than any of us individually on paper. But is he faster than a two-man time trial? I'll also say William was putting in some big hours this week to try and get ready for Joe Martin. So that probably played into our hands a little bit. But that was it. That was all she wrote. William gets on the front and tries to chase again here, but those two up front are rotating super hard. I think we had about 7 laps to go at this point. So for me, it's just, at this point, I'm playing catch and kill in this group and try and do as well as I can out of this second group. William gets really close here, and I think they see him coming and just do another like VO2 max effort to keep him off. But this was incredible work from these two guys. They stayed away. Yep, he looks back, he sees Williams close, and they just punch it here. So he gets close, but he never quite gets there, and those two rolled it to the end. Alex and Zach are done, 1-2, switching over to my final lap. Of course, they stuck me on the front for like the last 3 or 4 because I had teammates up the road they knew they weren't going to get to, and then they hit it super hard on this back section. I was able to hold decent position here. I probably should have stayed on the outside of Jacob there. I could have taken that all the way to the curb and stayed one wheel up from where I was rather than letting that go. I didn't have the timing down. This is my first time sprinting with people on this finish, so we got the little downhill here. You can see I kind of roll into the back of them too soon. I should have held in the draft a little later than I did. I popped out early here. I think I should have stayed in the draft until a little later. Didn't quite get there. So we go 1, 2, 4 on the night. That's a lapped rider that we're coming up on at the end there. But yeah, this was a super fun race. I'm really looking forward to more of these. You can check them out on Bike Rag if you're somewhere in the area. Some of the Mac guys from Atlanta came over for this one. If you're looking for a Thursday night race, this is the Temple of Zoom. If you are enjoying the race videos, like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I've got plenty more where this came from. I'm sitting on a ton of race footage. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. See you next time.